Another episode of Funky and the Champ. I'm fat. Jamal's like skinny fat. Right? You're skinny fat.
Take it back.
Today I chose violence.
I'm suing. Sue them. I had the mute on for the fight. Sorry, Daniel. I did mute you.
You guys are gonna be lifetime enemies because of the shit you say the moment you get a microphone in your face. Bro, you're crazy. Funky Ben, what's up, baby? How you doing, dog?
I know you just got me on here because I say crazy stuff all the time.
All the time. I love it. Like the last one, if John Morant wasn't running around acting crazy.
Oh, who is that guy? I see his name on Twitter, but I have no idea who he is.
You don't know who John Morant is?
I know. I see his name on Twitter, and they're always talking about him doing crazy stuff. Like he's like going to the Virgin Islands or something, and he's supposed to be playing a basketball game.
No.
He's probably a basketball player of some sort.
John Morant's a basketball player for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's insanely talented. You got to know who John Morant is. Come on, Ben.
I actually didn't. Now you informed me.
I
guess a basketball player. I don't.
You don't watch basketball player?
None.
You don't watch the Bucks?
Zero.
Dang, Ben. What do you watch?
Wrestling, MMA, and disc golf.
Disc golf. So wait, you play that disc golf in your backyard. You can play it all those times, and it never gets boring. You still want to play that same course.
I love it. I'm addicted. I'm a simple man.
You're a very simple man. Ben, I got you on because I'm not even having you on anymore. This is me and you.
We're a thing now.
Fucking the champ. Yeah, we're a thing, right? Like we've passed that part of our relationship where we're like sneaking around. We're like now like a thing, right? So it's like
I never had a relationship like that. I mean, I can't speak for you. I did not have one of those.
Oh, you're such a liar. You absolutely had
I had a rule.
When you were the king of Missouri University, you had relationships where you were just kind of like, oh, we're kind of together, but we're not.
Yeah, that's fair. But I didn't lie to him. I didn't tell you like, hey, I'm in love with you. And then I'm like, I'm actually seeing through other women. I said like, hey, we're gonna hang out on Tuesday night, and whatever happens, and then that's that.
This guy right here. So Ben,
gotta be honest.
You're telling way too much. You're telling way too much. Ben, what you do watch is MMA.
Yes.
The Ultimate Fighter started yesterday. So Conor McGregor is dominating the news cycle again. You got people calling this dude out all the time because obviously it's the easiest route to superstardom. Alexander Volkanovski, the great featherweight champion, all the way to guys like Matt Brown, who is now tied for the lead in UFC knockouts. But Matt Brown fighting Conor McGregor would not be something that you would expect.
I don't know. Why?
Bro, Matt Brown is 40-something years old.
Hey, you want to hear a crazy stat? I got a crazy stat for you.
Tell me.
Who's the last person? I'm going to quiz you first. Who's the last person Conor McGregor has beaten in the UFC who is not currently retired?
The last person Conor beat
and when was it?
Retired. Well, he beat Nate Diaz.
He retired. Beat Nate Diaz. He's not in the UFC anymore.
Nate Diaz is not retired, but Nate Diaz is still fighting. He's still fighting. Right? So it's like you can't. All right. But if you're talking about a person not in the UFC, a person that's still in the UFC, you mean?
Yes, correct.
Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier?
Dustin Poirier, 2014 was the last person Conor McGregor has beaten who's still in the UFC. Yeah. This guy's 1-3 in the last 6 years. I don't know nothing. We haven't seen him fight. He might not beat Matt Brown. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, right? The last time we saw him fight a guy that was seemingly at the tail end of his career was Cowboy Cerrone, and that lasted a minute. That's right? Fair. So that type of competition, I don't know if they can go with Conor, but Matt Brown did call him a little juiced out, coked out. Like Matt Brown's out of his mind, bro. So he's saying the right things to try to draw the fight out of him, right? Just to insult him. But I mean, when you see videos of Conor at the Monaco GP and he's dancing and he's partying, you're like, is Conor McGregor getting ready for a fight? Or is Conor McGregor overlooking Michael Chandler?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. The other thing I was thinking is, when was the last time you seen like a training video of Conor McGregor? Every video I see, he's partying, he's dancing, he's drinking. I just like, I don't know. Is this guy taking it seriously anymore? And listen, he's rich. He can do whatever he wants, apparently. But we also don't have to consider him a really elite fighter, and he needs to prove that to us again.
So you think because we don't have to consider him an elite fighter, it's okay to fight a Matt Brown?
I don't hate it. I mean, it's never going to happen.
Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Does a Conor McGregor, Matt Brown do pay-per-view numbers like some of these other names, or does Conor McGregor need a dance partner?
Yeah, no, he needs a dance partner to do numbers. And listen, I am not under the belief that Conor McGregor is ever going to fight regularly. I just saw he came out with this thing and said, I'm going to fight 3 or 4 times in the next year. That ain't going to happen.
Come on, think
man. So? He's fought 4 times in 6 years. Why would he fight 3 or 4 times in 1 year? That's crazy talk. I'm not even convinced he's fighting Michael Chandler. I'm
really
still not.
Why? They're doing the Ultimate Fighter. It debuted yesterday. He's back in USADA. What's the problem? Yeah,
he's back in USADA. Has he submitted a test?
He is back in USADA. I don't know if he's been tested yet, but he's back in the testing pool, which is step number 1, right, Ben?
All right, yeah, that would be step number 1. I don't think he's actually submitted a sample. So, I mean, maybe I'm being a hater here, maybe I'm being a skeptic, but I want to see him fight someone. He's 1-3 in his last 4. That is over the last 6 years. He has the 1 win against Donald Cerrone. He just hasn't been active at all. I mean, we've seen almost none of him. We haven't seen him since July of 2021. That was what's that, like almost 2 years ago
when he broke his leg. It'll be over 2 years by the time he comes back. I imagine he'll fight sometimes in December. But Matt Brown is not the only person talking about McGregor, right? You had Alexander Volkanovski, who, if you ask me, after what I have seen from him, might be the toughest guy.
He's so tough.
There. Dude, how good is this guy, man?
He's so good.
I mean, it's really hard to it's really hard because he's so good that if we have to make a comp to like someone else in any other sport, he literally sits at the very top. So you're talking about the elite of the elite wrestlers, the elite of the elite basketball players, but then it seemed like Conor was going back and forth with him, and Volkanovski seemed ready to fight him at whatever weight he wanted to.
Well, Ben, if you were Alex Volkanovski, why wouldn't you fight him? You should think that he's probably not quite as good as the other people who are at the very top of that division. It's probably unlikely. And, you're probably going to get paid more to fight him. So why wouldn't you want to fight him?
And of course you would, right? But why does McGregor just have a problem not allowing anyone to say anything? Is that why he responds to everyone? Because
he responds to so many people.
It would not seem like that would be a fight for Conor McGregor, Alexander Volkanovski.
Well, I think Conor, in his delusions of grandeur, probably still sees himself at the top of the heap and probably still sees himself getting another belt. And there's a chance, because listen, here's the thing about Michael Chandler. I love Michael Chandler. He's my college teammate. But every Michael Chandler fight is almost a coin flip, because there's a chance he's going to kill this dude. There's a chance he'll just go put him down, boom, put him down. But then he's going to try some crazy shit, and there's a chance he might get put down, So it's like McGregor hits hard. I don't know. I want Michael to win, but it could go either way. And if it goes either way, and it's a huge fight, they might throw him in for a title. Who knows?
I'm telling you, a year ago, when they started talking about Conor McGregor coming back, I knew it would be Michael Chandler because of everything you just said, because Mike's going to stand with them. For as good as Mike is in wrestling, he won't use it. And I kind of know why.
He will not.
You know why, though? Because last time he fought Dustin, he used it early and he got tired. I never saw him. And it's so hard to wrestle over a long fight. He got a little bit tired, and I think that's why he doesn't wrestle as much as he does. And also that's why Justin Gaethje doesn't wrestle as much as he can, because they get a little bit fatigued. But I think the Volkanovski fight makes sense only if Conor still has those designs of becoming the champion. Because if he doesn't, that fight is so risky to fight it without hoping to somehow earn a title.
Well, why not Leon Edwards?
I mean,
this fight, Chandler McGregor's 170.
I think why not? Small. Hey, bro, how much of a problem is it that when Conor's telling Michael stuff like this, did they tell you to wait yet? And Mike goes, no, what is it? And he goes, it'll be at 185. And Mike's like, you want to do 85? Let's do it. He's like, you'll do what you're told. And it seems like Mike's almost agreeing to everything he's saying. How bad is that for Michael Chandler to kind of almost just not really take a stand and go, nah, we going to come to an agreement. Both of us going to decide, not you. It's ain't your show.
Yeah.
Back.
You know, the thing about weight classes is the weight classes to make sure they're both the same size. These guys are both the same size. That's why, it's like sometimes if you were competing against someone, and they said, let's go up with, if you know what the guy's the same size, then who cares? And maybe both of them don't want to cut weight. And honestly, I was actually just thinking, like, Conor gets really tired too. So Conor and Michael, shit, if they make it to round 2, these dudes are going to be tired. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be like Luke Rockhold's last fight where they were just throwing haymakers. It's going to be, So, but the other reason why Michael Chandler doesn't wrestle is probably because, he's one of the most popular dudes in the UFC because he just does wild stuff the whole time. He just gets in there, he just throws down. That's what he does. Crazy.
He's exciting, bro, but he hasn't had the success that he probably could have had if he did more of what got him to the show. And also, hey, what was my favorite part of the Luke Rockhold fight? When Paulo Costa hit him in the nose.
That fight was so ridiculous.
Bro, when Paulo Costa hit him in the nose and Luke was bleeding profusely and Luke was against the side of the octagon and he said, fuck you, and he threw the left hand.
Oh, that was so ridiculous. Oh my God.
And it looks like universally loved leaving the octagon, but he couldn't end on it. He had to fight again.
But that's why, Daniel, that's why MMA fans are crazy. If you just say, like, screw it, I'm just gonna try to go nuts, they're like, you are now I hate you, Luke Rockhold, but now you're my favorite fighter ever.
He was universally loved.
Yeah,
he had to fight again. Last one. This one was quite like, this one like made all the sense in the world, right? Because as you say, like, you don't see Conor training much. You see him doing a lot of other stuff. Jake Paul in the middle of the night calls out Conor McGregor. It's like 3:00 in the morning. It's fitting, right? Because it would seem like Jake Paul is kind of doing the same thing. He's still calling for Conor McGregor. Why is he so intent on Conor McGregor? Because he always says he's the money fight. You lived on it, Ben. Like, did you make more money from fighting Jake Paul? I got to ask you.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So he always says he's the money fight. Why does he need McGregor so much?
Well, I think McGregor times Jake Paul makes everyone a lot of money. And I think if he beats up Nate Diaz, it makes a lot of sense. And, I don't know what Conor's contract is or his relationship with the UFC, if he can go get it done. But yeah, I think a lot of people buy that fight. I think there's a lot of casual fans who just want to see a boxing match. And you know what? Jake Paul is actually not bad at boxing, and maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better potentially. But he did beat Tyron, he did beat Anderson Silva.
He's not that good, bro. He's not that good. I watched him
Anderson Silva.
I watched him against that Tommy Fury.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
He fought a real boxer. He didn't look that good. He started spamming overhand rights, and the guy just knew a little bit more, and he boxed enough to where he was able to kind of really limit Jake and what Jake could do. Ben, you said Nate Diaz and Jake Paul. You think that Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz in a boxing match?
I got to imagine so. I don't think Jake Paul would beat Tyron or Anderson Silva. Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of think so.
The Anderson Silva one really did throw me for a loop because the moment he did that, I was like, oh, this dude's actually pretty good. Ben, I love you, bro, but I never thought you were going to win a boxing match.
You got to beat around the bush.
Why did you box, bro? I never thought you were going to fight a boxing match.
It sounded like fun, and I hoped he sucked. We didn't know at that point. At that point, he'd only boxed a comedian or something and a basketball player. So we didn't know nothing. I thought, hopefully this dude's just a bum. He's going to try to hit me hard for a round. He's going to get tired, and then I'm going to beat him up.
Ben, you had fought Damian Maia, and both of y'all couldn't really box. So it's like, why did you think you were going to go box somebody with 10-ounce gloves, my brother? I wouldn't even box with 10-ounce gloves. I think I had better stand-up than you. I thought I had better stand-up than you, Ben, and I wouldn't box.
When Jake Paul had fought a basketball player and a comedian, you wouldn't have boxed him? You're full of crap.
I probably would have boxed him, Ben.
Yeah, and you know what? You probably box someone on a Friday night because you think it's fun. If I brought boxing gloves to you right now, Daniel, and I said, hey, put them on. I'm going to beat your ass. You'd put them on and you try to beat me up, wouldn't you?
Against you?
For free.
Not everybody.
What about Jake Paul? What if Jake Paul showed up in your studio right now and he said, let's go. You'd put him on for free.
I'd probably box him. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I probably would box him. I probably will box him, though, because I'll be like, all right, yeah. All right. So, listen, a couple fights ago after he beat Anderson Silva, I might not have boxed him, but then after watching the last fight, I'm like, okay, maybe I can still box him. So, yeah, you're right. It's all perspective. It's all perspective.
Yeah. Sometimes
Ben,
you just like to compete.
You love to compete, but, yeah, I just didn't know about that one, my brother. It is what it is. No, you made money, and I'm pretty sure you still got all of it because you're the type of guy that doesn't really use it. So, yeah, my man, you got paid, right? So ultimately it worked out.
Hey, can I say, I read this one, this one, Jake Paul was coming off as kind of mature. I had to do my research because I didn't know he got into it, Conor McGregor again, when you told me today. He said, I'm going to do what Nate couldn't. I'm going to knock him the F out. You're going to be sitting there with a new beer company that's failing, drinking it, drunk as F, realizing you pissed your life away, drinking at the end of the bottle. You're going to say, damn, I really thought no one was going to do what I did in the sport. I really thought no one was going to be as big of a name. I really thought I was going to be the biggest forever, but you can't choose and have both lives. You can't have the fun, party, cocaine, and be the greatest fighter in the world. I was like, damn. When did Jake Paul get some wisdom?
He went on record and said all that. He really wanted to fight.
I didn't know this.
He really wants to fight, Ben, because
it's kind of the truth, right?
It's hard to straddle between the lines, right? Everybody thinks the Dagestanis are a little bit much because they're so strict, but because they're so strict is why they win so consistently. And it is what it is, bro. When you're living the life of an athlete, it's hard to really straddle between the lines because ultimately that other side usually wins, right? Like we saw guys like Dennis Rodman and all those great ball players. Lawrence Taylor for so long able to kind of manipulate it, but the moment it becomes a little bit too much. And I think a lot of people have to be very weary of that. Got to pay some bills. Today's video is brought to you by the Game Time app. The Game Time app is the worldwide leader in last-minute ticket purchases. So it does not matter what you're trying to do. Basketball, football, trying to go watch some UFC. The Game Time app has you, and it has you at reduced prices. So no matter where you are, get out, do something fun, and use the Game Time app to do it. Take in a comedy show. Go and watch a concert. Just jump on the Game Time app. Download it now. Use the promo code DCTV, and we'll give you $20 off of your first purchase. Download the Game Time app. Use the promo code DCTV for $20 off of your first purchase. Ben, it's always great to get your perspective on fighting and all the biggest stories in mixed martial arts. My friend, once again, thank you for joining for another episode of Funky and the Champ. Guys, we'll see you next time.
See ya.